Welcome to the Business Blast podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Wagner. This episode is brought to you by Authors Unite. Authors Unite makes the process of becoming a published, best-selling author as simple as sipping your morning cup of coffee. You can learn more about Authors Unite at authorsunite.com. Now, let's jump into the episode. All right, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Business Blast podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Wagner. Today, I have Tim Hughes with us, and he's the CEO and co-founder of the only global social selling company, Digital Leadership Associates. He is a best-selling author and pioneer and innovator of social selling as well as digital transformation through social media. So welcome to the show, man.
Hey, Tyler. It's exciting to be here.
Of course, man. Grateful to have you here. And we'll dive into the first one, Tim. The first question I have for you is, what is the best story from your life that has an underlying valuable message?
I'm actually in the process of writing my LinkedIn profile again. I'm going over some of my sales successes and failures. I actually lost a deal to an organization. But I must have done something right during the deal, because I actually phoned them up and they actually offered me a job. The thing that I think I've learned from that is that just because you may have lost something doesn't mean, you just need to dust yourself down and move on. And there's nothing wrong in, obviously you don't want to lose deals, but there's nothing wrong in losing deals. If you give it your best, maybe something will actually come right from it.
And what's the most valuable piece of information we should know that is within your expertise or industry?
Most valuable thing that we should know is you need to get a personal brand on LinkedIn. You need to be seen as an expert in your industry. It doesn't take long. It only takes half a day's work. But that's what people are looking for when they're buying stuff, and you need to do that.
And what is your best piece of overall business advice, so not necessarily industry specific?
There's a saying that you should always suffer fools gladly. There was a managing director of mine once basically said, it doesn't matter what somebody says in a meeting, it's not foolish or not stupid. And I think in today's world where there's so much disruption going on, what worked last week may not work this week, and what didn't work last week may work now. And I think that one of the things that we need to do is be very open-minded to everybody in the team and to the diversity of ideas, and actually experiment and give things a go, and actually provide the culture to allow for the experimentation.
And if you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that be?
To stick with it. I've been in sales for 25 years, and as I say, I'm currently writing a new LinkedIn profile. It's a bit like writing my autobiography. And I've actually remember doing stuff when I was in my 20s, and I didn't realize then, actually, it's exactly what I'm doing now, but doing it in a digital way. And actually what I'm actually teaching and coaching people with and enabling my customers to get one hell of a success, I actually started doing it like 20 years ago, and I hadn't realized that.
And kind of going a little bit down a different path, in your opinion, what is the key to happiness?
For me, I'm probably I am the most happiest in my life. I have I found my soulmate in terms of my girlfriend.
Nice.
It's amazing. I work with a whole bunch of people that I love. I love what I do, and I'm certainly the most happiest that I've ever been. But I'm actually earning probably one of the lowest salaries, because we're not taking a salary out of the business; we're investing in it. So it's not necessarily money that gives you happiness.
And what is the best book that you've read, and what was the number one thing you learned from that?
Probably the best book that I've read, a business book that I've read, was Crossing the Chasm by Jeffrey Moore. which taught me how to take products to market. And I've taken a number of products to market over my career. Certainly at Oracle, I took 3 products to market where there was no market at all, and we created something. And certainly I've done that with Digital Leadership Associates, where we've built the business from zero to being a global business within less than 2 years. And I've done that using the knowledge that I got from Jeff Moore's book.
And what is your favorite quote and why?
My favorite quote is actually from a Gandhi quote, which I can't remember the exact quote, but it's one of those where it goes, first they laugh at you, then they something, and then you win. And it's the quote that covers me and my journey with social selling. 3-4 years ago, everyone was laughing at us, saying that there was no ROI. We won that argument certainly 3 years ago. And now we've just gone from strength to strength, and now it's become the norm. I mean, it's now selling. So it's something that really resonates in the way that we've driven the market and driven the value over the last 4 years.
Dude, thank you so much for coming on. The last one that I have for you before we let you go is, where's the best place for people to find and or connect with you online?
So the best place to find me is on LinkedIn. I'm Timothy, Tim Hughes, and Hughes is spelled Hughes. Or I'm on Twitter, which is Timothy_Hughes. Or you can get me at tim@social-experts.net.
Perfect, man. Thanks again for jumping on.
You're welcome, Tyler. It's been great talking to you.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.